So thank you very much. As part of the project, which focuses on strengthening youth focus in public service delivery, we are hosting a series of policy dialogues in a certain number of states, in one state in each geopolitical zone, where we are bringing together young people, youth organizations to speak with public institutions and government officials, especially on issues that affect young people. So earlier in the year, we brought together youth organizations to identify what are some of these specific areas that affect them. And so, based on the states where we're working on, we have come back to host this policy dialogue. And so, we're here in Lagos today, especially talking around awareness and the opportunities for vocational and employment opportunities, because that is one thing that came out strongly when we were here earlier in the year. The other states where we're working is Borno State, Kaduna State, Enugu State, Akwa Ibom State, and the FCT. And in the southwest, of course, we're here in Lagos State. What we hope to see is how young people can influence some of the processes from some of these public institutions, make sure that these public institutions are more responsive to young people and more gender responsive as well. So one of the implications of this is that young people seem to lose trust in the government when they do not have access to information that would help them also engage some of these processes. I'm glad that Lagos is part of the Open Government Partnership, and of course, we must also commend them. For instance, the budget is publicly available online, but then there are other ways that the government must ensure transparency and accountability in order to build that relationship of trust between government institutions and young people. Even if this means, for instance, young people organizing and ensuring that at the Lagos State House of Assembly, there's a Freedom of Information Act that is passed, so that this ensures more openness, more transparency between citizens and between government institutions. One of the things that we have seen, and one of the ways that we can engage as young people is through the budget process, because every government institution, every public institution has some financial allocation that comes through the budget. And one of the things that young people had identified earlier on is that they are not very aware of some of these opportunities and how there can probably be some budget increment, so that these programs and policies that affect young people are actually more beneficial to them. One of the other things that we want to see moving forward is how some of these ministries, departments, and agencies can consult with young people a lot more in a way that their programs and their policies truly reflect the needs of young people and truly reflects the needs of the gender population in the various states where we're working. That young people have shown leadership. And for us, leadership is not just about the position that you hold, it's about the responsibility that you take in your communities. As an individual, as an organization, you can engage with different institutions, you can write letters to them, you can hold a community meeting, and ensuring that government processes are responsive to us as young people. Young people make up the largest demographic in our society, and I think it is only right in a democratic society that the interests and aspirations of the youth population, of the women population, are reflected in everything that is done. My advice to young people is one of the things that you need to do is to take advantage of the various opportunities that are available. We do not have white collar jobs for every single young person in this country, but there are so many opportunities. The Lagos State Employment Trust Fund has also spoken about some of that. The Ministry of Agric, the Ministry of Science and Technology that were represented here have spoken about the opportunities that are available to young people. So whether it is in entrepreneurship, whether it is in agriculture, whether it is in ICT, there are opportunities for us to engage, to create jobs for yourself, to create jobs for other people as well. One of the things that we started, and this is a project that has been going on for about 3 years. One of the first things that we did was to also engage with the legislative arm of the government. Last year, we held legislative dialogues in the various states where we are working. So one of the things was to look at the committees that deal with youth issues in these various states. We met with them, and they met with youth groups as well to discuss what are some of those areas. This year, we're looking a bit more around policy influencing and how we can influence the policies in ministries, departments, and agencies. But like I mentioned earlier, this is a collaboration with Action Aid, supported by Danida, with Yiaga Africa, with Connected Development, with the Youth Wing of the Nigerian Labour Congress. And I think the representative from Code also spoke about how you are tracking some of these government projects. And what we can do is to take the findings from these trackings as we engage with the state houses of assembly, as we engage with ministries, departments, and agencies, and empower young people, build their capacity to take this information and then engage with these public institutions to ensure that either we have increased budgets, to ensure that when policies are made, young people are consulted a lot more, to ensure that the needs and interests of young people are represented in policy and in legislation. Thank you very much.